Okay, well, I think dealing with the environment is a joint effort. Garvin, let's talk about, the Prime Minister has given a great example by being in the forefront of disaster response. What about other local government bodies? I mean, resources like boats, mechanical equipment, tents from various ministries. Can that all be coordinated? Is local government picking up the slack?
Well, let me just say, this government's focus is the environment. We've said so on the campaign trail. We have made the manifesto policy into government policy. And we will be looking at all aspects of improving the environment. Local government also has to be strengthened. That is another commitment that we've given. And by so doing, it would allow for local government to take charge of its responsibilities as far as disaster, as far as maintenance of the environment is concerned, and all the other issues that go with local government. So yes, you can be absolutely assured that we will do everything possible to ensure not only the reforestation and the other environmental issues, but surely for local government to play its part.
Presumably you'd be reaching out to the private sector as well.
Well, again, the environment has to be a partnership. We contribute as much to the development or lack of as people as can the government. We need to refocus our minds to the protection of our environment. We cannot be driving along the streets throwing things out of our window. We cannot be throwing things down our drains and our rivers, because with the best efforts of the technical people, if they clean the drains consistently and we continue to litter in the manner in which we have been littering, then we will always have a problem. So we need to change our focus, and part of the whole environmental development scheme is education, which is what we intend to do as well.
Shamshad, that brings me to my next point. To what extent is the population responsible for clogging up the drains?
Well, when you look at the drainage channels after the flood events, you will see all these plastic bottles, these cardboard boxes, and a lot of other stuff. Sometimes you see things like water tanks, as big as water tanks, and, well, of course, parts of cars, and imagine you're able to pull out a bumper from Port of Spain, from a covered drain, okay? So, yes, we are a very littering community. We believe that the best time to throw something away in the drainage system is when the rain is falling heavy. And if you have appliances to dump, that's the best time, because, you know, it goes to the sea as far as we are concerned. The drainage system is already overstressed, as I mentioned, and when we litter, we compound the problem. So we need, as the Minister says, to go on an education campaign. We had it but in the 70s, I believe, Chase Charlie Away or something like that, right? And we need to go back in an education program, starting with in school. Teach our children in school about littering. Let them know that this is not the proper thing to, and show them the effects of it.
Let's talk, Anthony, about the human contribution to our problems in terms of forestry.
While we continue to manage and maintain the upper watersheds, we have observed that there's been a lot of cutting of riparian vegetation, the riverbank vegetation that we knew existed before, such as the bamboo. And we feel that if we replant these riverbank areas and prevent squatting and prevent illegal agriculture in those areas, the riverbanks will be stabilized and the water will be able to flow naturally. We also need to pay attention to the coastal mangroves, because a lot of cutting has taken place there for different reasons. These coastal mangroves play a very important part in maintaining water balance in the ecosystem. And we need to revegetate certain areas and to bring back the mangroves so that they would act as a buffer zone between the ocean and the land.
Okay, we don't have too much more time, but Garvin, I'd like to get from you a solid commitment from government that actually there is going to be legislation. That's what most people are worried about, and that something's going to happen after this, that this is not just another response.
The thing is, Ira, there is considerable legislation in place at the moment. It's enforcement that is the problem. So that at the moment, it's not lawful for you to drive up the Mount Coco Road and throw things over the hill. That's not lawful. but people do it because you simply do not have the enforcement.
And that's going to happen?
So what this government has committed to is to enforcing the laws that we have on the books as the first priority. We have committed to the development and maintenance of our environment. That is a commitment at the manifesto level. It's a government policy at the moment. And surely whatever laws need to be strengthened to allow for this process to take place, obviously you will see those.
Okay, your words, Shamshad. 30 seconds.
Okay, what we need really is a comprehensive watershed management study for all our catchments. What we've started is two catchments right now where we are doing the study. One is North Oropouche River Basin, and the second one is the Ottawa River Basin. The first is almost completed, and we expect to get short, medium, and long-term solutions where we will be implementing, and we hope to put in our estimates for the next fiscal year. The Ottawa River Basin study will be completed at the end of next fiscal year, and we are hoping to do other catchment areas, have some studies so we can actually implement some of those things. We want to start the ponds and as early as possible for storage.
And we look forward to that, Anthony.
Forests are nature's way for maintaining a healthy and balanced environment. And we've got to realize that our survival and welfare depends on having our forests intact. And we need every citizen to partner with the Forestry Division and other agencies in ensuring that we manage our forests properly.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. I want to thank all my guests for coming on, and I hope that they'll come back. As we go, I want to share some of the comments we've received on our Facebook page and through email from Sharda Surujdev Maharaj. There must be a balance between what we take from our environment and what we put back in. When that balance isn't met, natural disasters occur, as has been the case over the past week with severe flooding. There needs to be more personal responsibility taken by everyone who lives in Trinidad and Tobago. Environmental management is not the responsibility of the government alone, but also of its people. From Grant Adams, I feel for those who have suffered injury and or loss of property and livelihood as a result of the floods. A lot of blame for the floods lies with the victims themselves, as many people take action that eventually causes floods. There are regulations and laws regarding where and how to develop land, build houses, dispose of garbage, prepare adequate drainage, and maintain vegetation. But it is inconveniencing to many to have to obey laws, especially when there is no enforcement and a lot is left to citizens to police their own actions. The will is weak, and selfish action triumphs national considerations and welfare. It looks complicated. It's actually very simple. It requires political will. And as environment engineer Kahal Healy Singh put it in last Thursday's Guardian, if the Northern Range was a specially protected area and major tree planting and quarry restoration was undertaken, flooding would be less severe. If a levee was placed on plastic bottles and existing drains were properly maintained, there would be less flooding. It is no longer good enough to respond to a disaster. It is vital to take preventative action. TNT, can we do it? Email us your response, photos and comments to cleaningupthemess@guardian.co.tt. As we go, I want to remind you to do your part to help those who have been devastated by the floods. Reach out to your community and get involved in the cleanup wherever you are. A reminder also that people affected by floods should drink bottled, boiled or disinfected water. Also, please discard all foods contaminated by flood waters, including canned stuff. That's where we wrap up. Let's all work towards a safer, cleaner, greener, and more beautiful TNT. This is CNC3. I'm Ira Mathur. Have a great Sunday.